The first episode of Batman, Caped Crusader, introduces us to a dark and corrupt Gotham City. We meet Bruce Wayne, a young man who has recently donned the mask of Batman to fight crime. The episode also introduces us to some of the other key players in Gotham, including Harvey Dent, James Gordon, Barbara Gordon, and Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. The episode follows Batman as he investigates a bombing at one of Rupert Thorne's buildings. Thorne is a corrupt businessman who is suspected of being a crime boss. Batman soon discovers that the bombing was carried out by the Penguin, who is one of Thorne's rivals. The Penguin has been secretly feeding information about Thorne's operations to the police. Thorne eventually finds out about the mole and retaliates by blowing up one of the Penguin's businesses. The Penguin, believing that one of her sons betrayed her, kills her youngest son in a fit of rage. It is later revealed that the Penguin's eldest son, Aaron, was actually the mole. Aaron goes to the police for protection, and he tells them that his mother has rigged up a powerful cannon on her iceberg lounge. The Penguin is planning to use the cannon to blow up the Gotham City police station. Batman intervenes and tries to stop the Penguin from firing the cannon, but he is too late. The police station is destroyed, but luckily, everyone inside has been evacuated. The episode ends with the Penguin being arrested for her crimes. However, Batman realizes that the Penguin's actions have actually helped to keep Thorne in check. With the Penguin out of the way, Thorne is now free to operate without any opposition. The second episode kicked off with the kidnapping of actress Yvonne Francis, who had just begun filming a new movie with Monoscope Pictures. Among the cast was Basil Carlo, a highly versatile actor reminiscent of Humphrey Bogart, who quickly became a prime suspect when Detective Renee Montoya started investigating the case. Commissioner Gordon, aware of the corrupt cops in his department, trusted Renee despite her being a newcomer, believing in her integrity. While Renee pursued the investigation through official channels, Batman conducted his own inquiry and discovered that the claimant he had seen escaping from Carlo's window was, in fact, Carlo himself. Carlo had faked his own death to exact revenge on Yvonne Francis. The episode concluded with the revelation that Francis had insulted Carlo's disfigured face, driving him to desperation. Carlo then encountered Jack Hillman, a deranged con artist working as a makeup artist in the studios. Jack had developed a miraculous serum that allowed him to change his appearance at will, like molding clay. Carlo used this serum on Jack, altering Jack's face to resemble his own, then killed him, making the world believe Carlo was dead. In reality, the real Carlo, now the claimant, assumed a new identity. When Renee discovered that Jack was behind the plot, she confronted him at his lab, only to realize that it was actually Carlo posing as Jack. Carlo, enjoying his new role as a murderer, captured Renee and took her to the same location where he was holding Francis. Carlo planned to kill both women, but Batman, who had placed a listening device on Renee, arrived just in time to save them. After a fight with Batman, Carlo was subdued, and officers Arnold Flass and Harvey Bullock arrived to arrest him. The third episode centered on Selina Kyle, a character familiar to those who have recently seen Matt Reeves' The Batman, particularly in connection with her family history. The episode delved into the early stages of Kyle's life, where she struggled with debts following her father's arrest. To make ends meet, she resorted to stealing valuable items at lavish parties, all while maintaining a deep affection for stray cats. In Batman, Caped Crusader, Kyle lived in a rundown house with her caretaker and butler, Greta, who remained out of loyalty to Kyle's father despite not being paid. The episode began with Kyle reading about masked vigilantes in the newspaper, which sparked her interest in becoming one herself. She eventually crafted her own suit and began committing nighttime robberies, only to be caught by Batman. Although she was arrested, the judge released her due to a lack of evidence. Determined not to let her slip through the cracks again, Batman brought a photographer, O'Brien from the Gotham Gazette, when he caught her stealing a second time to ensure she couldn't escape justice. In the end, corrupt officers Flass and Bullock attempted to shoot Kyle, but Batman intervened, beating them and preventing her murder. The photos O'Brien took of Batman's actions were later published, cementing his role as a vigilante in the public eye. The episode also explored Bruce Wayne's repressed childhood trauma. Early on, Bruce punched a reporter who had insulted his late mother, leading to a felony assault charge. However, Bruce's lawyer, Lucius Fox, negotiated a deal with the district attorney, allowing Bruce to avoid charges if he agreed to undergo a psychological evaluation with Dr. Harleen Quinzel. The fourth episode focused on the fallout from the leaked photos showing Batman overpowering the corrupt cops. As the images spread throughout Gotham, public interest surged, prompting the city's mayor to pressure Commissioner Gordon into taking decisive action to apprehend the masked vigilante. Despite their best efforts, the police were unsuccessful in capturing Batman, who continued to elude them. Frustrated by their failures, officers Flass and Bullock decided to take extreme measures. They released a dangerous prisoner known as Firebug, hoping to use him as bait to trap Batman. However, their plan went disastrously wrong when Firebug went on a rampage, setting fire to a building in Gotham's East neighborhood. Batman and Gordon rushed to the scene, working together to save the residents trapped inside before the structure collapsed. Meanwhile, Flass and Bullock, desperate to cover their tracks, cornered Firebug inside the burning building and killed him, ensuring that he couldn't expose their involvement. Despite knowing that Flass and Bullock were responsible for the chaos, Gordon found himself powerless to act, as Mayor Jessup publicly praised the officers for their heroic actions after seeing the photos in the press. In the latest twist, it was revealed that Dr. Harleen Quinzel, who had been conducting Bruce Wayne's psychological evaluation, was actually Gotham's notorious villain Harley Quinn in disguise. Harley had been targeting wealthy clients under the guise of therapy, hypnotizing them to donate their fortunes to various nonprofit organizations, believing that redirecting capitalist wealth could serve a greater good. She went even further, imprisoning these billionaires in a secret facility within William Hastings's mansion, where she devised torturous scenarios for each of them. Her twisted goal was to make these privileged individuals experience the suffering of those less fortunate, hoping they would emerge with newfound empathy if they managed to escape. Batman, meanwhile, had been investigating the strange case of Fletcher Deming, a billionaire who had inexplicably donated his entire fortune to West Side charities and subsequently lost his sanity, believing himself to be an Egyptian pharaoh. While searching Deming's office, Batman discovered his checkbook, which revealed multiple payments to Dr. Quinzel. This discovery led Batman to suspect that the seemingly benign psychiatrist was hiding a darker agenda. Complicating matters, Quinzel had begun a romantic relationship with Detective Renee Montoya. But before their relationship could progress, Quinzel's best friend, Barbara, uncovered her secret identity and confronted her at the mansion where she was holding her wealthy captives. By this time, Batman had already freed the billionaires, but Quinzel, enraged and aware of Batman's true identity, trapped him in a glass chamber, leaving him to die. However, when Quinzel realized that Barbara was still inside the mansion, which was rigged to explode, she returned in a desperate attempt to save her friend. Just as the building detonated, both Quinzel and Barbara fell from a cliff toward the water below. Batman, acting quickly, managed to save Barbara, but Quinzel plunged into the water and vanished. In the aftermath, Quinzel contacted Renee, informing her that she was leaving Gotham for a while. Despite this apparent departure, it's clear that Harley Quinn is set to make a return in the next season, leaving her fate and future plans shrouded in mystery. This episode of Batman Caped Crusader was a standout in the first season, with its unique blend of supernatural elements and a mystery that felt reminiscent of a classic Scooby-Doo story. The episode introduced the ghostly figure of James Craddock, also known as the Gentleman Ghost, who had a deep-rooted connection to Gotham's history. James Craddock was once part of a wealthy aristocratic family that played a crucial role in founding Gotham City. However, he squandered much of his family's fortune through gambling and nearly lost the family estate on Heritage Hill after the introduction of the Bill of Rights in America. Believing that nobility was his birthright, Craddock declared war on the commoners, robbing the poor to enrich himself. Eventually, his crimes caught up with him, and he was hanged in the old town of Gallows. In the present day, Craddock's ghost returned to Gotham after his descendant, Russell Craddock, attempted to sell the Heritage Hill estate to Wayne Industries. When Batman caught wind of the situation, he initially dismissed the ghost as a trick by a clever criminal. However, his skepticism vanished when Craddock's ghost disappeared before his eyes. Realizing he was dealing with a real supernatural threat, Batman sought help from Linton Midnight, the owner of a mysterious occult bookstore in Gotham. Midnight provided Batman with a book on occult magic and instructed him to perform a ritual to banish the ghost. To do so, Batman needed two things: the original deed to Heritage Hill and the blood of a nobleman. Burning the deed would sever Craddock's connection to Gotham, stripping him of his power. Additionally, Midnight gave Batman a magical test tube, cryptically suggesting that its purpose would become clear in time. Batman retrieved the original deed from a museum and began searching for a nobleman. Alfred then revealed that the Pennyworth lineage traced back to the Duke of Devonshire, making him a nobleman by blood. Together, Batman and Alfred headed to a graveyard to perform the ritual. Just as they began burning the deed, Craddock's ghost attacked, leading to a fierce struggle. Alfred managed to burn the deed completely, but in doing so, Craddock's spirit transformed into a black cloud that possessed Alfred's body. Now under the control of Craddock, Alfred hinted at a dark secret he had been hiding from Batman, something that could be related to Wayne's secret identity or the death of his parents. This revelation was left unresolved, setting up a mystery likely to be explored in the next season. As Alfred briefly regained control, he begged Batman to kill him to prevent Craddock from forcing him to kill his master. In a desperate move, Batman fired a flame, burning the last remnants of the deed and expelling Craddock's spirit from Alfred's body. Once Craddock was out, Batman quickly used the magical test tube to trap the ghost. He then returned the tube to Midnight, but Craddock, now imprisoned within, pleaded with Batman to save him from whatever fate Midnight had in store. Midnight, however, was cryptic about Craddock's future, simply telling Batman that it was something he wouldn't want to know. The episode ended with a subplot involving Harvey Dent, whose mayoral campaign took a hit after the gentleman ghost, during a train robbery, refused to accept money from Dent. This rejection painted Dent as a nobleman in the eyes of the public, causing his poll numbers to plummet as the people of Gotham expressed their desire for a commoner, not an aristocrat, to lead them. This episode of Batman Caped Crusader was relatively straightforward, but packed with tension. The story began with a mysterious hit being placed by someone within Blackgate Penitentiary. This news quickly led to a crew of professional hitmen, including the notorious Onomatopoeia and his team, descending on Gotham City to fulfill the contract. Initially, it was assumed that Commissioner James Gordon was the target, prompting a citywide scramble to protect him. However, the plot took a surprising turn when it was revealed that the true target was Barbara Gordon, not her father. The hit was ordered by a man named Muller, a former client of Barbara's who had been sent to Blackgate after she failed to defend him in court. Fueled by a desire for revenge, Muller sought to punish Barbara for what he perceived as her failure. As the hitman closed in, Batman intervened just in time, thwarting the assassination attempt and ensuring Barbara's safety. In the end, all the corrupt cops who were complicit in the scheme, along with the hired hitman, were apprehended and brought to justice, thanks to Batman's vigilance. In the previous episodes, mobster Rupert Thorne had made an offer to Harvey Dent to fund his election campaign in exchange for his loyalty towards him. After losing all his donors, Harvey was left with no other option but to get help from a criminal so that he could become mayor. As Batman said, Harvey sometimes believed in bending the law so that he could bring justice to the world, which isn't always ethical, and it served Harvey right. In the 8th episode, Harvey organized a carnival in Gotham City and invited a few kids from the orphanage in order to promote his campaign. At the carnival, the episode introduced a young girl named Natalia Knight, who had the power to drain energy from people and become stronger. Her brother, Anton, made use of her special powers for his carnival show. But all these years, Natalia became addicted to human energy and started attacking kids at the carnival. When Anton tried to stop her, Natalia pushed him with all her might, which eventually led to his death. However, before dying, Anton told Batman that his sister wasn't a bad person. She had just lost her way. He even told him that Natalia was nocturna and the morning sun rays could burn her into ashes. So Batman only had till sunrise to stop Natalia, or else she would bring her own death upon her. After attacking her brother, Natalia started hunting other kids at the carnival, but was finally stopped by Batman, who told her that she was responsible for her brother's death. Natalia was completely devastated as soon as she found out about Anton's death. She wanted to kill herself, but Batman protected her from the sun's rays and took her to safety. During the episode, Thorne had asked Harvey to lose some evidence against his gang member Matt Milligan, who was currently in police custody and was awaiting a court hearing. And even though Harvey didn't want to aid a criminal, he had no other option but to scratch Thorne's back as he did his. Fortunately, Harvey had a change of heart during the court hearings and appealed to the judge to put Milligan on trial so that he could be executed for the crimes he had committed. Thorne's men sitting in the court were agitated by Harvey's move and his betrayal, and as soon as Harvey went to the washroom, Tony Zuko threw acid on his face to teach the man a lesson. The 9th episode delved into Harvey Dent's internal struggle following the acid attack that disfigured him in court. The trauma left Harvey hearing voices in his head pushing him to drop out of the election race and resign from his position as district attorney. He isolated himself, locking himself in his apartment for weeks, consumed by fear that people would mock or pity him for his disfigurement. Bruce Wayne, a longtime friend of Harvey, visited him in an attempt to lift his spirits. He convinced Harvey to join him for dinner, hoping to help him reconnect with the world. However, the dinner turned disastrous as Harvey's paranoia took over. He began hearing imagined voices of people criticizing his appearance, causing him to lose control. His alter ego, driven by rage and a thirst for revenge, took over, and Harvey decided to hunt down Tony Zito, the man responsible for his condition. While Batman searched for Harvey, he was too late to stop him from exacting his revenge. Harvey had already tracked down Tony Zito and burned him alive. Consumed by his darker side, Harvey then set his sights on killing Rupert Thorne, another figure from his past. Batman managed to confront Harvey just as he was about to strike. In that critical moment, Harvey regained control of himself and, horrified by what he had done and what he might do next, asked Batman to lock him up to prevent further harm. The episode concluded with Harvey Dent being imprisoned, where he was visited by Barbara Gordon, signaling the beginning of a complex and perhaps redemptive arc for his character. In the final episode of the season, Barbara Gordon successfully convinced the judge that Harvey Dent had lost his sanity following the acid attack, which meant he required psychiatric evaluation rather than imprisonment. Harvey's decision to surrender to the police likely spared him from a harsh sentence in state prison, leading to his placement under special care at Arkham Asylum. Barbara's next goal was to arrange for Harvey to be transferred to a private hospital where he could receive the help he needed to combat his inner demons. To make this happen, she struck a deal with the district attorney. In exchange for Harvey's treatment, the DA demanded that Harvey become a state witness to help put Rupert Thorne behind bars. Before Harvey could testify, Thorne's men launched a brutal attack on the police convoy transporting him. Crooked cops Arnold Flass and Harvey Bullock, who had been secretly working for Thorne, betrayed their duty and abducted Harvey with the intention of delivering him to Thorne's men. However, Harvey managed to escape thanks to Barbara's quick thinking and intervention. She helped him flee and immediately contacted her father, Commissioner Gordon, and Batman to devise a plan to protect Harvey and take down Thorne's goons. The group arranged to meet at the dockyard, but Thorne's men were hot on their trail, having followed Barbara's car. A fierce battle erupted at the docks. In the chaos, Flass attempted to shoot Barbara, but Harvey, in a final act of redemption, sacrificed himself to save her life. Witnessing his friend's death, Batman was consumed by rage and violently beat Flass. Although Commissioner Gordon managed to arrest Flass and Bullock, he was painfully aware that Thorne's influence, along with the mayor's backing, would likely see the corrupt officers released in no time. As Thorne reveled in his apparent victory, Batman sent a clear message by throwing a batarang at him, a warning that he would not rest until justice was served and Thorne was behind bars for his crimes. The season's finale also teased what's to come by introducing the Joker, Batman's most dangerous adversary. The brief scene showed the Joker conducting experiments on humans with his toxic chemical compound, setting the stage for the chaos he will undoubtedly bring to Gotham City in the second season.